And welcome back to the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup 2014. We're at the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin, China. I'm Tori Dorsey with Adam Buchert. We're at the fourth and final quarterfinal of this 16-goal tournament. England facing France. We're at 2 apiece. Just starting the third Chukka. Hong Kong, China, Brazil, and Chile through to the semifinals. This game will determine our fourth and final semifinalist.
That's right, Tori, and 3 great games earlier in these quarterfinals, and this one is no different. It's a great tussle at the moment for the 4th spot in the semi-finals, and now it's England on the attack now. Rigaud shutting the back door, the number 3 for France. Lovely little cut shot, but none of the French players read it. The man that did read it was Jack Richardson, who was onto that very quickly. Ball that he's backed has come off the legs of another pony now. Ngumu for France. Pulled out of that one. I thought he might have got a foul there, but Rigaud backs it. But this looks like it'll be goal time for England, and it's Max Charlton running that one through for the English, the number 3. And he has... So we've got Jack Richardson creates the line here, gets through the traffic, does the work. Rigaud backs it, gets enough onto it, but the first man there is Charlton, who keeps a cool head and pushes that one through. So it's now England 3-2, and it's France on the attack, and that's Delphos for France. Running it up into the far corner now. Jack Richardson just looking at the man before he takes the ball. Delphos gets enough onto that to leave it behind for his French teammates, but the first people to get back onto it is Jack Richardson. He has had a very good game so far. Now Ngumu backs it across the face of the goal mouth. First one there is Max Charlton for England, the number 3. He hits it, but not cleanly enough. So Rigaud gets it, he's going to take it around the front, but then he comes back once he sees Delphos is behind him, and then Delphos tries to clear a path there for him, and the umpire's saying that he needs to be allowed to play that ball. He goes forward, he's ridden out of it, and Max Charlton, Rutledge clears the shot. Rutledge with the green helmet now, and it'll be Ngumu backing it for France now. Lovely little play there that doesn't quite work for Richardson, but a big back shot there by Max Charlton. Richardson looking to turn onto it, but Rutledge very tough on his man, doing a lot of work on the man, Rutledge, and the score is telling the tale. So Ngumu going back now and backing it again. Probably not a bad role for Ngumu to be sitting deep and being, because he's not playing all that physical, and umpire saying that you turned the ball in front of the player who was running down the line, and Rigaud not happy.
See Clement Delphos and Max Rutledge really having a tussle.
Yeah, very physical, Max Rutledge. And see there, if Jack Richardson had been taken out of it by one of the French players, that turning the ball was fine, but because Jack Richardson was free and coming down the line, he was not allowed to turn that ball. So
at this stage, France really needs to man up, as you say, otherwise this game is going to get away from them, because at the moment the momentum has definitely swung towards the English team.
Exactly, and I think Alan Kent, the coach for the English, at the half-time break there would have been saying, come on boys, toughen up, you've got to be harder on the man and create, because what's happening here is if the ball is a little bit, if the surface is a little bit choppy, if you can take the man decisively and really dominate your opposing player, the ball will pop up on your stick side. It'll be sitting there for you to go and make those plays. And you know, if you're in your attacking half, anything can happen.
Indeed. So England with a penalty here. 3:48 into the third Chukka to take a 4-2 lead. It is defended.
Oh,
looks like
gone
it's
wide.
Just gone wide.
It's gone wide.
So Max Charlton wide with his penalty shot. France now with possession. You have to see a replay of that penalty shot, just curved to the left.
Anyway, France breathing a sigh of relief. Ngumu hits it, but it gets a deflection off Rigaud's pony, and now back shot for Max Charlton to Max Charlton off from Max Rutledge. Ngumu appealing for the foul there. Ngumu has to do more here to really claim his man. He can't just sit next to him. He actually has to force his man off the line. Now Delphos, lovely shot up the field. Great attacking play, but sitting back very deep is Max Rutledge for England. Now Delphos coming through, appealing for the foul there and getting it by the sounds of the whistle.
does look like it's a penalty awarded to France here.
Be interesting to see where they place this ball, because he was close to the halfway when that. It's probably still a fair way inside. So the umpires.
There's no hesitation in the decision by the umpires, pointing towards the English goal.
And the umpires not being persuaded by the enthusiasm of the French players. You'll see some of the French players will ride down to the position where they think the ball should be teed up, trying to encourage the umpires to agree with them. But the umpires stood firm at the halfway mark. The bit of blue paint you can see in the middle of the pitch there is the mark for halfway. And Briac Rigaud to bring the ball down into his own attacking half. Hits a lovely ball. If we've got some footage of that, but it's gone wide to the right. It had the distance.
It certainly had the distance to score, but
still spinning. But from side on, it looked like it was going very close.
So England will bring this ball back in, having crossed the boundary line. England again leading 3-2. Retaining possession here.
Jack Richardson hitting it cleanly up the field. First one onto that line will be Rigaud back in defence. Good shot by Rigaud, looking to find the boards, nearly gets to the boards. First one onto it is going to be Delphos, the number one, being hard ridden again by Jack Richardson. And now Max Rutledge putting lots of pressure on Rigaud, and the umpire blowing a whistle.
And that must be a real challenge when you have a scrum like that, the ball against the boards, and 6 players claiming possession.
I'm just trying to work out what they've blown here.
They've called it actually on the English team, indeed. It looked like it couldn't tell if that was Max Charlton that came in just at the end there and joined the scrum.
Yeah, I don't think he should have hooked that player. I think they needed to let France have that next hit before they went and attempted the hook.
This is Rigaud now with a penalty shot, defended by the English team.
Looks good. Looks goal to France. So they've equalised.
So we're 3 apiece now.
3 apiece.
All equal.
So
another look at that penalty.
You see the curve on this one, but it curves through the goal, so it doesn't really matter. Look at that. Beautiful. He's been taking lessons from Tommy Biddle Jr. by the looks of that.
And the ball again out into the audience. Ball back into the crowd. I think that's about the 4th ball or 5th ball that's been hit into the audience.
Yep. Now ball's coming down the line of the boards. Delphos riding hard against Rutledge. Rigaud back in defence. Keeps the ball. Can turn that one because Max Charlton was taken out of it by Nagumu on the Palomino. Now Rigaud's been looking to hit. See, now this is what happens when you play with the ball in this softer surface. You have to hit, and this is why the whistle's blown. They're saying, Rigaud is saying, I couldn't hit it because it was too boggy and the surface was too rough. But they're saying, well, you've still got to hit the ball. You can't just play with it. So
keep tapping the ball.
Yeah, you just have one big hit.
And that was to your point earlier when I asked the question if he could just tap that straight to the goal mouth.
I think they probably got throw in here because if it was on a grass field, they would have blown him for tapping and there would have been a penalty. But because it's the snow and the surface is a bit rougher, they'll have a throw in. So.
And Rigaud there, making an attempt on goal, but just going to the left of the post.
He's in everything, Rigaud. He's the man that he's giving everything here today. And Delphos is having a great chucker as well. Doing a very good job keeping Max Charlton neutralised, but now Rigaud backs it, gets a lucky bounce for Jack Richardson, who turns up the line and then leaves the ball because the French player was coming down the line, Delphos. Now it's Rigaud. He's going to take it around the front again on the little paint horse. Lovely big neck shot. Now, who's going back in defence? It'll be Max Rutledge going back in defence with 30 seconds left on the clock. A lovely away shot through the traffic by Rutledge. Rigaud's going to had to try and play a big back shot there, but he couldn't because he was hard up against the boards. And now he'll try and bring that out. He's left it behind for Nagumu. They're running out of time. They've only got about 8 seconds left on the clock. Now Rigaud hits it cleanly. Delphos getting there. Who's going to be first onto the line? Whistle went.
So there was an
Nagumu.
There was an appeal for a foul.
And there was a whistle, but I'm just going to, I think they might have been just the whistle for the end of the Chukka. I don't know if there was definitely a foul there, but we're going to go to the end of the Chukka break. 3 apiece.